Tell me your name, the name of the police department, and then tell me what happened.
Eric Rossetti, and it's the Clark County Detention Center, Clark County Las Vegas Police. And on December 20th, at about 4 in the morning, I was leaving a gay nightclub, and I had to use the bathroom. So I went around the corner and started to unzip my pants. A friend yelled at me saying, "Eric, you can't urinate in public. You know, you're going to get in trouble." So as I was zipping up pants, there was a few sheriffs on bicycles down the street harassing somebody else. The one guy flashed his light over at me and then walked over, and I started to plead my case to him. He told my friend to go back into the club. My friend went back into the club, and I continued to tell him that I wasn't from Vegas, that I wasn't aware of the laws, that I just really had to go to the restroom. And then he started to cuff me. So I told him that I had a really bad wrist, and I started screaming because he twisted my wrist all the way back and cuffed me. And then he had a backup come in, and they threw me on the ground to the point where the side of my face started to bleed.
Hold on. This was Las Vegas PD?
Yes.
Okay. And
Metro.
okay, this was Metro of Las Vegas PD. All right. And
Yeah.
so you had a situation where you had simply urinated. The officer then approached you. Why did he become physical all of a sudden? Tell me how it led up to that. Give me a little more information.
Oh, because he started to cuss me, and I freaked out, and I said I was just peeing, and I was just like, and I didn't even finish, and then he's like, relax, and then he started to twist my hand in the back, and so I started to scream, and so he threw me on the floor.
Hold on.
Threw me in the back.
Hold on. Was there any need for him to twist your arm? Were you resisting in any way?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't any need for excessive force at all. And then he brought in more people, and then that's when after they threw me on the floor, I started to scream more, and then and then I got up, and they lifted me up, and then one of them tasered me.
Now let's back up.
And then at that point,
Hold on, let's back up. Was there any point in time where they actually put the handcuffs on you, or was this that later? Did that happen later?
it all happened so fast that I don't even that whole situation is a blur. All I remember is screaming, getting handcuffed, getting tasered after being handcuffed, and then being thrown in the cop car face first. That's how, just face first, tossed in. That's how fast that happened.
Okay, let me back up over a few things. So they tasered you after you were already handcuffed.
Yeah.
Were you trying to escape in any way? Did you do anything other than just yell?
No, I was just yelling.
Okay. And was the officer that tasered you the same one that body slammed you to the ground?
No, there was like 3 of them at that point.
Okay. All right. Well, walk me through this. I got the part where you were urinating. The officer approached. He was bothering someone else. He came to you. Did he ever say you're under arrest? I need you to cooperate. Did he give you any?
He flashed the light in my face and said, "You're under arrest." And then I was questioning. I said, "Why? I'm sorry," and I was apologizing, and then I started to cry.
Okay.
And so they took me in, and then once I was in the police station, about 30 minutes into it, I'm sick. I have HIV, and I need medication that I need to take 24 hours, every 24 hours, or else I put myself in extreme life-threatening danger if I don't take this medication.
Mm-hmm.
The police officers knew that once I was all booked and checked in. I had the medication in my pocket. They put it into storage, and clearly posted on the wall, it says, "If you have any medical conditions, please contact or speak to a uniformed officer." So I'm sitting there patiently, already handcuffed, in a room with 30 other people. I stood up in tears, and I said, "Officer, I need my medication. Can I please speak to somebody about my medication?" He said, clearly, "Sit the fuck down. Did I tell you could stand up?" And I, in tears, said, "Please, I just need my medication." At that point, he rushed me, grabbed me, threw me against the wall, slammed me against the wall, caused this huge welt on the other side of my face, twisted my arms, which were already in cuffs, back. Then they brought in this chair thing. It's all on videotape too. And then I was screaming in pain and agony. And then he was totally roughing me up. They threw me on the chair. We're videotaping, and everyone in the room was just in shock. All of their jaws were dropped.
Hold on. So wait a minute. So there were witnesses in the room with you who were other prisoners or other deputies?
Witnesses. There were 30 other people that were being processed.
So those 30 people would have seen the beating.
Yeah, I took two people's information, but there were 30 other people that were there that were being processed, that were all witnesses.
Okay.
That were just sitting there waiting to be processed for whatever, DUIs or whatever the hell they were in there for.
Okay. A couple more questions. Okay. The people that saw this happen were mostly other inmates, but you said it was on videotape. Do you have a copy of the tape? Have you tried to get a copy of the tape?
When I asked the officers, they said that it's all documented and that to call 311. Several times after the incident, I had asked who I needed to speak to. I wanted to speak to a supervisor. I wanted to get the main officer's name, the one that threw me against the wall, slammed my head up against the wall extremely hard, threw me on the chair, and everyone just kept saying, call 311. They all looked like that because I was trying to describe him to all the other officers throughout the remainder of my 18-hour booking process. Because at this point, I was in excruciating pain. When they put me in this chair thing, they made me sit on my own wrist, and I have medical records saying that I have a damaged wrist, which I was screaming about when I was arrested. And they made me sit on my own wrist in this little black chair, which is, I guess, their version of like a confinement, kind of like a punishment if somebody's acting up.
No, let me back up. Let me back up. The officers that abused you in the jail, were they different from the officers that abused you when you were arrested?
I'm not sure if it was the guy who abused me in the jail might have been with the people that arrested me. I'm not sure. Like I said, when I got arrested, it was one of those things where it was the one officer flashed the light in my face, threw me on the ground. Everything happened quickly, threw me in the back of the cop car. Then I got into the jail, and at that point, I was just, crying, delirious, and I patiently waited. And then that's when I had to ask for my medication because I knew I needed to take it. And then at that point, when I stood up and started crying in tears, is when the officer came and assaulted me and threw me against the wall and twisted my arms back while I was screaming in pain. The only words that came out of my mouth were, all I asked for was my medication. All I asked for was my medication. And the people in the other room could hear me crying that when they took me away. They twisted my arms back. The guy who had slammed me against the face and assaulted me threw me on this black chair. They strapped me in with like 6 different straps and tightened it really, really, really hard as I was crying. And the officer kept twisting my arms back, and then they slid me into this other room, and we're videotaping that. Like another officer, I guess they have to videotape that for their own records or for some kind of records when they put somebody in this chair, because this chair is considered, it's like a punishment. It's like they put you in extreme pain and strap you into this black, weird, like, chain thing. So I was screaming, and then at this point, my face was in pain because of when they slammed me up against the wall.
Well, let's go over your injuries. Tell me what injuries you got from the arrest, and then tell me what injuries you got from the incident inside the jail.
Okay. From the arrest, my wrist, and the side of my head. The right side of my head had a scab on it, and then from inside of the jail, it's my wrist